y'all, I'm Hope here at Crafty Hope, and welcome. If you know this 10, you probably know what this is. This is my Finding the Words journal series in which I am getting prompted in a different way than I normally would, and I am starting by choosing a sentiment. Usually I finish off an art journal page like I did this one that I did here recently. I finished it off with finding a sentiment, and well, for this series, I have been taking this container, which is full of found words and stamps and printed out things, just different kind of little sentiments, and I'm pulling 3 out and picking one and using that to inspire the page that I'm gonna do. So let's get started. I'm gonna probably voice over the rest of this, but yeah, let's go get inspired with some words. And I started by just pulling out a sentiment. This one says United Talent. And I was like, okay, well, I suppose I can find somebody that has talent. And this second one that I pulled out, you'll see it. It says dance to the sound of. And I was like, ugh, that needs something to complete it. So maybe I won't use that one. Then I pulled this one out and says it's only make believe. And I was like, ooh, I really like that one. So I thought maybe I could do dance to the sound of United Talent. And then I have creativity takes courage. So those are my 3 kind of sentiments there. And I am going to go for it's only make believe because that appeals to my kind of like magic and dreamlike side. And I thought, okay, I can work with that. And in thinking of that, I was like, okay, these last couple pages haven't had much color in them. I kind of want to make sure this one has, I don't know, a pop of more color in it. And yeah, and definitely some gold, like gold sparkles or stars or something like that kind of feels dreamy and magic-like and make-believe and pretend. And I really kind of wanted to lean into that, but this takes a little bit of a crazy turn for me. So I did have a stack of collage papers off to the side of my desk to kind of just get me rolling. And yeah, so I'm using a fluid matte medium and a little silicone spreader thing that actually is from the cosmetic aisle of the Dollar Tree. It's for spreading face masks, but it works great for matte medium because that silicone means that you can like peel it off and it doesn't get gunky, and yeah, fabulous. So I'm going to use it. I think I'm going to speed up here. Yeah, just a little bit as I collage these. Now I'm going to go ahead and admit to y'all that my camera had a screw up in this process, and a large chunk of, not large, but a good chunk of this video somehow got corrupted. And so I am going to pop in here because as I was adding these video files to my computer from my camera, I saw that file was, I don't know, coming up differently than the rest of them. So I real quick did a real-time recording to explain to y'all the part that got missed. And I am sorry. I probably should have just recorded another video, but I've got this video for Finding the Words scheduled at the last Monday of every month, or the last Tuesday of every month, and I just know that I don't have time to do another one. So anyway, I am getting all of this stuff glued down, covering basically that page that's underneath. Here I'm adding a little bit of that Tim Holtz. It's collage paper, so it's kind of a tissue paper, and it's just in my stash. Put that on top for a little additional texture, and then I'm going to use my heat tool to dry this whole thing because that fluid medium is, yeah, it's super wet. And for color, I am coming in with a couple of sprays. This first one is Lindy's Stamp Gang Spray in Alpine Ice Rose. So it's kind of a pink, peachy coral. And then I've got Delusion's ink spray in Vibrant Turquoise. Now, both of these sprays are not water. They're not permanent. So they're going to move around a bit when as I work. So when I add some other things, that those colors are going to kind of soak into that, and you'll see that here in a bit. So you can see I sprayed too much. I dabbed it up some. I put a little bit more down of the pink,
And it doesn't look like it's showing up here, but in the end, it actually does pop kind of out. But that gave me like this pink and this blue. Like I said, I wanted some color in here for the make-believe kind of childlike colors, and these just kind of felt right. Then I took some Liquitex Basics white gesso and a palette knife, and y'all, I'm just spreading that on there kind of loosely to push back all of the collage and the chaos of that and give it some pop of brightness and simplicity, I guess. Like the basic white really kind of makes it flow a little bit better, but you can see that especially that dilutions kind of ekes through that white gesso and turns it blue as well. So from here, I wanted to add a stencil, and I really thought it would be neat to have some molding paste. So I've got this Arteza molding paste and some Liquitex Gold medium that I'm going to try to mix together. I think I even add some gold acrylic paint in there to try to get more of a goldy color through the stencil that I'm going to use. But y'all, you're going to see this part got recorded. So that is some Deco Art Dazzling Metallics and Glorious Gold. It was just the gold that was like closest to me that I'm trying to mix in. And you can see it, the color is not quite what I want, but I was like, well, let's try it. Let's see what happens. So I have this stencil that I cut using some graphic stencil material on my laser cutter. So it's not going to be a stencil you can find anywhere. If you're interested in this stencil, let me know. I could maybe cut some more, but maybe, I don't know. I'd have to cut it. Yeah. Anyway, let me know. But it is, yeah. So you can see I'm using that same palette knife to kind of scrape that through there. I thought I was doing a pretty good job. Trying to get different areas, I didn't want it to be exactly what the stencil is, so I'm just getting a couple, spots to make sure some of those stars. And these stars to me felt very like make-believe and magic and that whole idea of the make-believe and magic thing. But you can see when I peel that up, y'all, it was just a hot, hot mess. So I quickly grabbed a baby wipe and I'm just going to wipe it off. And if some of the inks come with it, that's fine. I just needed to get that gloopy mess off there. But I still wanted that stencil. So what I'm going to do is get a cosmetic sponge. I'm trying to get some of the gloopiness off of the stencil too. And I am going to take it once I'm done with this and wash it to get more of that modeling paste off of there. So I'm just going to use that Deco Art gold paint and a cosmetic wedge and get the stencil on there just kind of in the background. So when I get done with this to dry it and go clean my stencil and all of that, when I came back, that's when my camera messed up. So this next portion here in just a second is me telling you what I did in the interim before we get to the final stages of this. So I really hate that my camera and the technology messed all of this up, but sorry that this is how it has to be.
Breaking in here, y'all, I am editing this video and realized that somehow the file got damaged for part of what we did here. So I'm going to zoom in just a little bit. I'm covering up what the focal is because I don't want to ruin it. I want y'all to be able to see that. So what I did on here, as you can see, I added some coffee here. So that is just some of the instant coffee, mix up, water down, spread around. I dried that. From there, I put some dots. I painted these on. These look kind of like my finger dots I usually do, but they are painted on with titanium white acrylic paint. And I did it in layers because the coffee that's on here and the ink that's on here were soaking into it. So I was kind of doing one and letting it dry and doing one and letting it dry. And then I went around each of them with an R2, I'll show you, with my R2 rollerball pen from Dollar Tree in blue. Lately, these have all I've been able to find. I haven't been able to find the black ones. So I'm trying to use the blue ones since that's, yeah, I've got plenty of black ones, but since y'all may not be able to find black ones, I'm using the blue ones too. And I went around each of those circles and then watered them down and let the water run. So over here is the focal. I pulled out of my box of focals a yearbook photo that had this guy on it. So I cut out his face and played with some fabrics that were in my stash and created him a crown with lace. Now y'all, I'll probably say it in the rest of this video, but it kind of looks like a bow. And all I did was cut him out and then use some Beacon 3-in-1 glue to attach his head here. So from there, we're going to jump back in and you can see what else I do with him. Sorry that this is all covered up, but I don't want to spoil it. So we're going to get back to it. And if I realize that something else got missed out, I'll come back in and tell you again. Sorry about that. Sometimes technology does not want to work with us. So yeah, let's see how else this finishes out.
I think the only thing I forgot to mention was I did splatter some of that gold paint around on the page. So, as I want to do. So, from there, I dipped back into my fabric stash and found this golden tassel, which matched some of the gold that was in there. And just, I don't know, felt like a great way to add a bottom to him, because I tried a couple other things that kind of off camera and nothing seemed to work, but for some reason this gold on the bottom really felt right. So I'm going to use that Beacon 3-in-1 to add that tassel there, and then also to put my sentiment on top of that tassel. Now y'all, as I was playing with this, and like I said, it does look like kind of a bow on top of his head. It was meant to be a crown, but as I was thinking about this, the thought that, you know, he's a king and he's wearing this crown, it made me think about the politics in the United States at the moment, and kind of my hope and wish that it was only make-believe. And so that's kind of what I was thinking as I did this, that you know, having a king in this country could only be make-believe. And so that's, yeah, that was what was in my head. And once I glued him down and played around with the tassels there, I realized that they could be kind of like concealing something. See how I'm messing with it? And I'm like, wait a minute, what if I put something behind him? And so I am going to take a little bit of some book paper to my typewriter and type up the words "one can dream." So it's only make believe, one can dream. Was my idea that, like, yeah, I kind of hope what's going on in this country is just make believe. So I took and I'm in the United States, if that's not clear. So I tore down that typed up sentiment, and I'm going to ink it with, which I did ink him and my other sentiment with walnut stain distress ink. So that was also in that ruined portion. And then I'm going to glue it down with my Oohoo glue stick, and with that I believe this page is finished. I'm going to futz it a little bit because I think I didn't get, yeah, I think I'll end up moving that sentiment over a little bit before the glue dries. But y'all, this was a fun page. I hate that I couldn't share all of it with you. And as much as I wanted to add a bunch of color to it, it's still very much like the browns and blues that I always do. But that pink does pop in there just a little bit more. I hope you did enjoy it despite my technical problems. And let me know if you have any questions at all. I'd be happy to answer what I can. Thanks for coming to spend this time with me, and I will have more for y'all later. Thanks for watching. Bye.